Muting volume now. Detected! This area has been sanitized.
That's hands, Captain.
Contaminant with intense detail. His performance evaluation is sterling. line!
We did it!
That assist was a violation of corporate law if I ever saw one. Since it was to my benefit, and we're largely in lawless lands, I'll look the other way. C3 owes you one, stranger. You haven't seen Constance, have you? Ah, there's her torso. And that'll be her legs over yonder, never mind. I'm Bertold.
Oh, my law, he's right. I thought they had to be Cystipig parts, or otherwise... Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
Whoa, away from the boots if you don't mind. Killing marauders and hooligans, as I am handsomely paid to do. Of course, as me and Constance discovered, they ain't the only forms of life inhabiting these caverns. I owe you a debt for saving my neck, stranger, and I mean to pay it. There's a station up the way. It's where my C3s are posted. We can talk more there where it's safe. I'll be on my way, once I've gathered up Constance's parts.
Here we go! Attacking! Got 'em all!
Entering quiet mode.
Hey, Mannequin Slayer. Glad you made it in one piece. After all, not everyone's so lucky. Meet my corporate compliance crew. Then check out our weapons locker inside. I reckon you'll find something you like. Then we call it even between us. The corporate model is the oldest and most efficient, not to mention stable structure history has ever shown us. Plus, corporations got certain rights not entailed to individuals. I lead the C3s. Addie covers our payroll and expenditures, Lance handles the human capital, and Donald is our charming public face. Our system works. We've racked up more confirmed kills than any other crew you can hire. We were hired to do so, why else? You did get the memo that we're mercenaries? Our client's a bit unorthodox, sure. He calls himself the broker, and prefers the glow of a terminal to flesh and blood interaction. But I can't fault his work ethic. Our current gig's to stop, by means of lethal force, any creatures exiting the caverns, including but not limited to marauders, iconoclasts, and agents operating for the MSI. You drive a hard bargain, Mannequin Slayer. It don't make much financial sense for C3 to expend resources on any killing beyond the contract stipulations. As the Marauders didn't enter from the caves, the requirements are murky. At the same time, we do want to keep our client alive, until the payment's cleared. I think you mean clever. We recommended the client safeguard himself, so I don't expect that the main doors will be accessible. Find a way to open them, and we'll clear any hostiles on the inside. I'd best radio ahead for Joy and Hudson to prep for us. They'll be at the station entrance, ready with our finest auto mechanicals to assist you. C3s, prepare to move out.
We're locked and loaded. Joy and Hudson know you're coming. They'll back you in the frontal assault on Devil's Peak.
Thank the architect! Bertolt's back!
Got a problem? Maybe I can help.
There you are! Bossman said you'd be up this way. Quick reboot before we shoot
I
up?
always wanted to poke through a high-gain wireless. They only got one on Terra 2, you know. Up in the Byzantium.
Warranty void reason number 548. If the building collapses on Sam while the unit is sanitizing it.
Fox radioed ahead. Said I'm to follow you. Provide whatever support you need. If those bastards start shooting, we'll join in. I gotta warn you, my girl Sunshine here is a tad trigger-happy. Of course, me and her will follow your lead. Just wanted you to know we wouldn't begrudge you of any violent inclinations. I'm just gonna put this out there. That is a dumb fucking idea. You've got two highly productive purveyors of death at your command, and you ain't going to unleash us? But it's your call. We'll still back you up if you run into trouble.
And we got more Marauders to gut shot.
purified.
Here we go.
Scrubbing the dirt out.
Take cover!
Sanitation and
Everybody okay? Great.
trespass.
Reminder, large jobs take Sam longer to clean.
I wonder how they punch a signal through the gas giant's magnetic field. Can't be easy.
Plenty of unfriendlies still out there. Keep alert. Unless you're looking to get dead.
Sam, putting trash in its rightful place for more than 70 years.
Break you!
Put him down!
I'm on it!
Fight dirty. Clean up the competition.
Open fire!
Nice one!
Proper trigger discipline. But
That's
processing unexpected. Search.
Reminder, large jobs take Sam longer to clean. Reminder, take out the trash. Keep clean. Come in. Fencing. This area has been sanitized.
Reminder. 3 seconds, please.
Here they come!
Getting behind cover!
Good job!
I just earned a fine phone.
Security threat eliminated.
Take
Off.
Winston Company ammo.
Sanitation and cleanup. Required.
Huh? Take him down!
Okay, here we go!
Corpse detected.
Fighting ain't gonna get easier on the inside. Best hurry before the Marauders regroup. We'll keep watch out here.
We ain't responsible for the interior, so I guess you get to party without us. Good luck, stranger.
Muting volume now. Warps discovered. Preparing required sanitary measures.
Come out! Come out!
Here they come! Nice one!
Please!
Unauthorized contaminants. Cleaning cycle complete. To neutralize and sanitize.
Attacking!
Toxin neutralized. Customer, all germs and contaminants have been neutralized.
not realize this being as you're an outsider, but the blaring alarms indicate the station's on lockdown. Which means you can't ever get to me. So leave already.
Come out and play!
Out there, whoever you are, yes, I can see you. Come here and talk to me. Face the intercom.
Great work!
can't tell if you're brave or simply touched in the head. What in the galaxy are you doing sniffing around my station? Unless you are, in fact, trying to suicide by Marauder? Nice and coherent. Good. Take it you're not with the Marauders, then. By the hand of fate and my own cunning skill, I run this station. The Marauders may have other plans, and since my hired hands have clearly turned idle, it appears I have need of you. As my newest contractor, you may call me the Broker. Oh, now they'll take action. It's about time, I tell you. I'm up to my neck in Marauders in here, which, by the by, they were supposed to prevent. I barricaded the broadcast center, but I can only hold out for so long. Clear the Marauders out, and I'll pay you double the going rate. They destroy the transmission equipment, and I'll be out of business. The elevator and doors to the second floor are back online. Hurry before I have to lock them down again. Too many, considering I hired a bunch of no-good mercs to keep them out in the first place. Already, they've caused considerable damage to the station's property. If they take down the broadcast equipment, I'll be out of a job, permanently. Aside from the bits I'll be paying you, I trade in secrets, valuable ones for my vocation. I'm sure you can come up with something you might like to ask me about in person once I'm safe. Hey, elevators to your right. Get ready. P3's entering through the main doors as we speak. About damn time.
Entering quiet mode.
Light him on fire, ladies and gents!
Put him down! What was that?
This unit is mean, and ready to kill you. Body bag required.
Wasting company ammo.
That's the last of them!
Time to collect a fine bounty.
I just earned a fine bonus.
No prisoners!
Company ammo.
Waste of company ammo. Huh? Thought I saw something. Take him down!
Warning, customer. You appear to be leaking. Dirt. Attacking contaminant with intent to kill.
Getting behind cover!
are coming for you! Them are my pistols, see?
Old laws, but I love my job. Ain't nothing like getting paid to kill.
Muting voice.
What? Suspicion levels reset.
Oh, you got that? You ever think about death, Sam?
You won't find a more highly effective nor highly efficient automechanical fine-tuned to neutralize noxious contaminants on Halcyon's market. SAM units are reliably certified at killing filth dead.
We gotta be put in this universe to do more and kill. We gotta.
The data on that cartridge was even more damning than I could have hoped. And to have something on UDL of all the corporations. You've given us quite the advantage. Anyway, what can I do for you? Then it's... Ah, so you've heard about our prior acquaintance. I suppose you're right. Graham's always had a way with words. Strange as it may seem, I suspect he'd have quite the corporate career if he weren't so radical. Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago. We both agreed that MSI's treatment of its workers was untenable. I thought reforms would be enough. I didn't realize you wanted to abolish the corporate system entirely. What can I do?
Staying long?
Death and taxes are coming for you!
Never thought I'd be ecstatic at having the walls painted in blood, but seeing as it's not mine, I'd say this calls for a celebration. And you got me my money's worth out of the C3s. I ought to have simply dealt with you in the first place. Oh no, my business is in trade, not owing others the burden of a favor. This ought to square our debt. One hefty payment for a highly valued service rendered. But I admit, I do wonder why you ventured here at all. Allow me to pose my question in another manner. Why, in the nebula, are you here? If you insist. As I was telling you before, I am the premier broker for all of Monarch. Phineas must have sent you. He's the only one insane enough to send someone to Monarch to rush me. I knew it was only a matter of time before he came a-knocking. Look, I might be late, but I fulfill my contracts, always.
Are you fibbing? Be honest.
SAM units never need longer than necessary to complete the job. Quick, quiet, and efficient, Sam sees it done.
I take offense to that. Look, okay. I was delayed by MSI and the Iconoclasts. The idiots were scrambling all transmissions to override each other's broadcasts. But as you've shut them down, I'm back in business. I don't doubt that you are working with Phineas, but my contract specifies I relay any acquired information to the purchaser, and to the purchaser alone. However, to send the data, I will need your assistance in cycling the antenna's receiver, so I can input the needed adjustments. Ugh, don't be ridiculous. We're resetting a broadcast tower, not filing taxes. There are no errands, spreadsheets, or rituals involved. It's simple, truly. I merely need you to waltz outside and throw the lever to cycle the power. I'll key in the numerical adjustments from in here. Eternal, no. What is wrong with you? Who would ever design something like that? However, you're welcome to brew me a Rizzo Insta-Coffee from the staff kitchen on your way back. Just step outside, flip the switch, depart forever. Understood? Good. Marvelous. We're in agreement.
If that's really all, let's just get it done with and be on our way.
Terrific. I'll be here, waiting with bated breath. Give a shout if the panel electrocutes you. Have some information for me? Is that a trick question? Because to answer it, you'd need to pay me. Of course, I could offer you a vastly more interesting bit of data instead. Try me. Ask me anything you'd like. I'll even offer it for free. We'll call it an exchange for your help with the broadcasts. Ask me what you will. Not much, admittedly. Phineas has been in hiding for the past 35 years. He got in touch with Nyoka first, who I use as a physical go-between. The rest is history. As far as what's between us, I mean. Outside of that, well, that's a Raptidon of another color. I do know this much. There is a sharper side to the good scientist than you'd expect. If allegations are to be believed, the experiments he conducts for the greater good are in fact treasonous and for self-gain. I am not convinced as to the validity of these allegations, considering the source, but I am also not unconvinced either. Luckily for you, I am a veritable font of information. There are so many members. Do specify. If you try to cite me on this, I will deny, deny, deny. Do you understand? What I am about to reveal is the sort of information that gets a body disappeared. MSI's ownership of Monarch is technically legal, but it would give MSI too much power on the board to grant them such status. That the chairman is politically motivated to keep Monarch from being re-recognized as a legal part of the colony, and his actions as a result are highly illegal. And that is all you will get from me regarding such a deadly piece of data. If you try to MSI... Luckily, they are a curious lot. Insufferable. And short-sighted, too. What else do you wish to know? Some say Graham suffers from nightmares that leave him sweat-drenched and screaming. I would assume it stems from the friends and family he lost in Amber Heights all those years ago. Sanjar is not actually at fault for his past performance reviews, but he can keep hunting for loopholes to get back on the board for the next century. He'll never be reinstated. Not in his lifetime. For Nebula's sake, even with the loophole I gave him, he's only in charge of MSI because every other exec died during the massacre at Amber Heights. I gave Sanjar and Graham legal information that would allow MSI to own Terra 1 once the other corporations had abandoned the planet. The execs had their concerns, but before the matter could be resolved, pirates raided their homes in the night. You mean between MSI, the Iconoclasts, and myself? I bet neither of those megalomaniacs told you I was the true mastermind behind Monarch. Back when the colony was still Terra 1 and corporations were abandoning us left and right, I'm the one who approached Sanjar and Graham with the means to our salvation. I offered them a legal way to take control of the planet. If MSI were the only corporation here, they could claim sole ownership. Precisely. Without me, they never would have done more than play Revolution in hushed whispers over scuzzy kale ales in the tavern. Thus, the bargain was struck. They could run MSI while I would operate Devil's Peak Station. Unfortunately, relations have soured over time. Competing ideologies. Graham believes Sanjar has become corrupted by the corporate lifestyle, that he is now similar to the original corporate executives they sought to reform. And Sanjar has learned the hard way that Graham is quite morally gray. Luckily for you, What? No. Why would I go out of my way to intercept messages from Earth? There's no market for them. No buyer means it's not worth my time. Now, if you wanted me to intercept a certain one, that might be worth it for the right price. How low you seemingly regard my trade. I may have a secret. Give my...
check, check. Sweet stars. But that is a beautiful sound. Can you hear me? We are a go for broadcast. Oh, and I also dispatched Phineas his data. Impatient prick. Worse, I'm now indebted to him for it. Now I'll kindly thank you to get out of my tower. There's no need to assert your dominance. I doubt I could make you do anything you don't wish to. Look, I am well aware that at times I may have the tiniest iota of a prickly exterior. But I must admit I have grown rather fond of you. Take care out there.
Captain! Big flaming thingy!
Black holes! Did you see that? Looks like a UDL ship. Based on the gunnery attachments, I'd guess it's one of the board's blockade enforcers, but don't cite me on that. Oh well, a pity for the crew, but I can't see how it affects me.
Hiram? Can you hear me? Did you see that?
Architect, save me from swindlers and fools. Sanjar, what are you bloody doing on my channel? Did MSI or did MSI not cease broadcasting?
Yes, but... Hiram. Hiram, are you there?
Allow me to save you the trouble as I fling myself from this tower.
Ah, the good captain. The truth brings us together once more. Our salvation has come crashing through the stratosphere. We need only collect its weapons. Are you mad? That's a UDL gunship. You'd probably shoot your own toes off.
Par for the course, really. You should do like I did. Get out while you still retain a shred of sanity.
We could use the gunship's armaments to defend Stellar Bay, but we need its targeting module. Our message is so close to breaking free of this planet and spreading to the stars. Help us secure that module and we will save our colony.
Listen, I don't care a single whit what you do, so long as you leave me out of it. Which means, get off my bored damn channel. I'm more than finished with you lot.
So much for peace and quiet. Would it kill the universe to cut me some slack? And I don't see an Insta-coffee in your hand. Yes, the one that crashed. I saw it on the security feed. A bit grainy, but an invigorating watch all the same. What about it? I fear it's a sad day when you've resorted to asking me for advice. Sanjar's about as deadly as a spilled can of lead paint. If anyone's to aim a cannon at my face, I'd prefer it be him. But he'd never have the guts to defend Monarch if it came down to it. Graham's as likely to bomb Monarch as he is to protect it, down to the last dying man, woman, and sister-pig. As I'm not the one with access to the artillery cannon, I reckon the decision's ultimately up to you. Me? I'd end up blasting myself from the face of the planet, trying to disengage the target lock on the bloody thing. Thank you, but no. Is this bonding? I'm not sure I like it. Next, you'll be asking me how I got the scar on my chin when I was 11. Most of it's underneath along my jaw, but yes, it seems to have faded with time. Moral of the story is, never run with scissors. The board has a blockade of gunships that patrol Monarch. Not a ton, mind you, just enough to deter the masses. I am curious as to what downed it. A faulty part wouldn't be wholly unusual. The supply for new mechanicals is tight. Ugh, now I'll never sleep. Unsolved puzzles really torque my sprockets. If you find out what happened, sell me the info. I'm getting a headache behind my left temple. What could be causing it? The glare from the terminal screen? Or something else? Sure. You know where to find me if you need me.
Grease stains detected traveling on an organic substance in the immediate vicinity.
Nuh-uh. I just washed these coveralls last week. They're still spick and span. Mostly.
Preparing degreaser nozzle for deployment.
Sam, don't you dare. Sam, I see you pointing that thing my way. What did I just say?
Cancel cleaning schedule?
Exactly. Ain't nothing wrong with a little mess. But I appreciate the gesture, I suppose.
Job assessment. It's a mess!
You sure we ought to go this way, Captain?
Readying for standby mode upon command affirmation. Entering mode now.
Yep. We'll be keeping watch here.
Hello, my name's Jen. I'm the chief engineer on this gunship, and I'd like to let the record show that our captain is a total fucking hullhead. I told him again and again that without fixing our regulators, spinning up the engines are going to blow through our coils and we'll go flying off in a completely random direction. Well, here we are. Thinking we'll hit soil in about 30 seconds. This is your chief engineer signing off for what is probably the last time. It's a shame you can't see this middle finger I'm holding up, because I'm doing it as hard as I can.
So much for peace and quiet. Yeah, what a... Not surprising, replacement parts are rare, so the cost of even a simple repair can exceed an arm and a leg. I take it you investigated the wreckage? Don't guess the captain would have quite pegged the price of disrepair being the cost of their lives, but these things happen. A shame. I would have enjoyed investigating the mystery further. No, I take it. Laid it all out, eh? Well, can't refute facts in the face of solid evidence. A shame. I would have enjoyed it. It's a fair one as far as educated guesses go. A crew letting their ship fall into disrepair would be the most likely culprit. Of course, we'll never be entirely sure without conclusive evidence. Barring a survivor, we can only speculate on the contributing factors. For my sake, yes. For theirs, no, of course. That wouldn't be the sole reason. Survivability of strangers is very important to me. I hope the person responsible for destroying a space-worthy vessel and the rare parts tied into it has absolutely survived the wreckage, just so they can keep muddling through life. Either way, I'll need to look into this further. I haven't had such an exciting hunt for information in ages.
I'm thinking on my dad today. Do you miss Mr. Hawthorne, Sid?
While SAM units are mass-produced for economical purposes, the overall quantity is limited compared to other automechanical product lines, because we understand our clientele is exclusive and discerning.
I guess you probably never met him, huh? Well, that's okay. You got us. We'll be your dad now.
If the Iconoclasts reach that ship first, there won't be any chance for a peaceful monarch. I don't suppose you've found the targeting module yet? I've sent patrols, but they're running into trouble with the Iconoclasts. Well, because the module controls the weapons systems. Because once we mount them on Stellar Bay's walls, no Marauder or Raptidon will ever be a threat to us again. Stellar Bay will be as secure as any other settlement in Halcyon.
The point is, this weapon system would be a powerful advantage, and we can't risk the Iconoclast getting it.
The boards on Salvage and Recovery Clause 32B would say differently.
And they won't dare challenge us over this. Not after the data you found on their experiments here. Don't worry. We'll send an engineering team for those later. We'll have to disconnect them from the rest of the ship.
Of course, they'll be useless without that targeting module, which is why it's critical that you retrieve it.
Which is also why we can't let the Iconoclast get them.
Look, Celia, she's being funny again.
I don't think so, sir.
Really? Well, I could have sworn... Well, that's not important. What is important is that there's a considerable distance between us and that ship, and most of it is inhabited by Marauders and Raptidons. It is, and that's not saying anything about the Sulfur Pits, the Mantisaurs, the Iconoclast Rebels, Celia, do we have any pep pills? I'm feeling lightheaded.
I'm afraid you finished them going over the sales reports last week.
Oh, well, I suppose you see our predicament. Can you imagine what those maniacs would do with weapons like that? They'd wreak havoc.
And roll back all the progress we've made at reconciling with the rest of Halcyon.
Even if they merely sat on the scraps, the threat of a bunch of anarchists holding a gunship would bring the full wrath of the board down on Monarch. We can't afford that. Good, because we haven't a moment to lose. That's surprising. The board's equipment is usually in top shape. After all, they have first access to any fresh parts or components. A conspiracy? You've spent too much time around Graham. They're all mad! And what's more, they left us! I don't see any way for us to work together. Ugh, not this again.
Remember what we practiced, sir?
Yes. The words in those reviews were very hurtful, but they do not define me. I am a Mantipillar, and my will is my cocoon. I can emerge and become whatever I wish. Normally, I'd find this kind of talk from you quite invigorating. But this is a difficult moment for me. Still, perhaps you have a point. Supposing you're right, who exactly would you have me work with? The Iconoclasts are not the most compromising sorts. That's an interesting suggestion. I confess I don't know much about her except that she worked for Rizzo. I'd be willing to consider it, but I need to see her review first. Very well. I can't promise anything, but let's see what we have here. Well, it seems like she's actually very qualified. I wasn't expecting to say this, but if you can put her in charge and convince her to agree to a meeting, I'd be willing to discuss terms.